Hey everybody, welcome to On Podcast, the Microsoft podcast, where we talk about everything Microsoft and everything Microsoft related. I am here with the world's greatest co-host again.
Mr. Arif back is here.
Yeah, and we have a jam-packed podcast for you today. We have special guests. We have some review questions on a new product. We also have a rundown of normal weekly news that's been stuffed into this 5-day news cycle for us. Going by the list of things that we have, we'll be talking about Microsoft's big acquisition early in the week, kind of set the stage for Xbox and even its competitors for what's to come. We'll be talking also about
Xbox One X and Xbox One S pre-orders and how they sold out. And we'll also get into some more Game Pass news. And my man Kareem here will also talk about Ignite, right?
Yeah, we got that was the other big elephant in the room for the week. While all of this Xbox news was kind of unveiling, Ignite was going. So for all of you Azure cloud people, Microsoft 365, we haven't forgot about you. We'll be talking about that as well, just kind of recapping some of the highlights from the week. And then we're moving on to even more
phone news,
Xbox.
if you guys, even more Xbox, and then some phone news too. We'll bring in our editor-in-chief, Kip, and he'll talk about a new phone that he's using, which everyone has been comparing to the Surface Duo, which I have right here. So we'll ask him some questions about the new Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G, very mouthful-ish kind of name.
Yeah,
and then
also Samsung in their name.
And Kareem will end our usual podcast by getting into the week ahead, right, Kareem?
Yeah, and the week ahead is, again, going to be another seems jam-packed one where we have more stuff about Xbox. We have information about Surface hardware surfacing, pun intended, Skype Meet, and some other things as well. So we'll get into our first topic of today, and that is Microsoft's acquisition of, and I hope I'm saying this right, ZeniMax
Media, home of Bethesda Softworks. You probably just know it by Bethesda.
Thank you. We just want to make sure we get everyone who, all the hard people who work on both sides of Bethesda and beyond. Make sure they get their due credit.
It's the home of Bethesda, just to be clear.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just like it's analogous to TikTok and ByteDance, essentially.
Yep.
You have what people know and the company behind it. Anyway, Microsoft.
It was a pretty big deal. It was a pretty big deal, right, Kareem?
Yeah, it was. I say it's more significant than the TikTok news that we were talking about weeks prior. This is huge. It's $7.5 billion. But Microsoft has the money to kind of toss around, especially when they've been sitting on acquisitions. In comparison to Sony, who's been buying and snatching up monthly exclusive, timed exclusive, studio exclusives, all that kind of stuff. So this is a really good one. It kind of gives people who were feeling a little bit jilted by Microsoft's unveiling of the Xbox Series X and the lack of games, kind of a nudge in the shoulder saying like, hey, we're still thinking about you. What this will do now is kind of, it'll bolster the number of studios that Microsoft has to jump them from 15 to 23. It'll also give them the game library for stuff like Wolfenstein, Fallout, Doom, Elder Scrolls. So we're getting some big names, some big titles. Again, I would hope people don't expect to see any new games come out within the time frame of 2020, probably even 2021. But sometime after 2021, we should start seeing either some remakes to these, some expansions on these, or even some new game properties, ideally. But either way, it's just a huge win for them. Not necessarily a loss, because I don't want to try and play into the fanboyish thing of this, but it's definitely
not a
Windows
Phone loss. It's not a Windows Phone loss.
There you go with Windows Phone again. You just gotta drag it in. It's not a loss, but it is a blocker for studio or for items like Google Stadia. That's going to be definitely hard for them to kind of get up and going when Sony and Microsoft are buying up all these giant properties. Amazon's new Luna thing, they're going to have a difficulty as well. trying to get some partnerships or exclusives when again Microsoft and Sony are bogarting these things. But it's huge, and a lot of these games will be joining Xbox Game Pass. So I mean, if you were kind of hesitant, or if you weren't and you just couldn't get a console at the time, but are waiting, there's even more reason to get either the Series S or the Series X, because while you may not be getting a day one exclusive, you will be getting access to a ton of new titles for a relatively good monthly cost.
And they've always been with Microsoft too, Bethesda. They were an early believer in their Xbox Game Pass subscription service, and they bought a lot of their titles to Game Pass for PC earlier when it launched. So it's not like they're two strange companies. It's probably been in the works for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, these deals aren't like they wake up in the morning and say, "Hey, Bethesda, do you want to be buddies? Do you want to be owned by Microsoft?" I'm sure they've been talking since last generation about how this would work out, and probably all the stuff we're not even thinking about going forward about how this will work for PC, how they have to negotiate games that are currently on the PS4 and Nintendo Switch, things like that, how they navigate all of that without stepping on landmines and upsetting gamers and losing all of the goodwill and good faith they've kind of built up in the last 3.5, 4 years.
And Satya Nadella, to be clear, and Phil Spencer, they did say in an interview with Bloomberg that Microsoft will respect all their existing timed exclusivity. Probably saying that wrong. Exclusivity deals with Sony, and they'll bring back new Bethesda games to other consoles on a case-by-case basis. So it's not like you'll only see Bethesda games on Xbox. Maybe there is a possibility, like you said, to begin heading in 2021 or 2022, that these games will be on both consoles for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely have to see how they deal with this. I mean, so far they've been pretty good stewards of bought properties. Minecraft being the biggest kind of no name right now, and how it's everywhere. So ideally this will be follow suit, and gamers will be proud to have either console, but at least know that Microsoft is in it for gaming, in it for gamers as well.
And speaking of gaming, we're not leaving the Xbox topic just yet. So even more Xbox news. So you guys probably saw it trending on Twitter and all over social media that Xbox pre-orders went up and they sold out like right away. People weren't able to find them on Amazon, Target, Walmart, even the Microsoft store. If I'm not wrong, the Microsoft store just straight up crashed when the X Series and X Series went up for pre-order, right, Kareem?
Yeah, it was a bit ridiculous. I mean, I like to see a good troll when it happens, and Microsoft did a good job about when Sony had its debacle and how it came out saying like, hey, here's the time, date, and places you can get these. Assuming people, I guess they were assuming that these systems would hold, these cloud-based systems would hold for these purchases, and then they just fell apart. They fell apart just like Sony. So it begs the question of how prepared were all of these places to purchase, and the other question I'm wondering, because they keep saying everything's sold out. Obviously we've had the pandemic, but I just wonder if there's just been limited number of devices anyway to begin with, so that both Sony and Xbox can say, hey, we sold out. That's a good headline.
Well, Microsoft did say the day after the pre-order fiasco that they saw record-breaking demand, and they did promise that more consoles would come out on November 10th. So maybe it's not something to worry about. You will be able to buy an X series and an XS series when you need it.
I hope so. I remember when I tried to pre-order, and I should be amongst the crowd. I got in line, it crashed, I lost everything, and then 2 days later, Microsoft sends me this email saying like, hey, you forgot something in your cart. So I'm thinking like, hey, they had it. And then I go to click on it, and it was like, we're still sold out. Your goof's on you, sucker. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
I managed to get one. I snagged one on Amazon, and then I sent it to you guys in the chat in Teams while we were working. And I'm like, I got one. Yes. And then like the
I
minute
thought,
after
did you
it
get the
sold
X?
out.
Because I know Laurent got the S, I believe. You
Yeah,
got the X, right?
yeah, I got the X series, even though I'm not much of
Nice.
a gamer, but you know, Microsoft fan, you gotta pick up their console, right?
Well, the other thing I was gonna do because I want to, one, because I'm just cheap. I mean, let's be honest. Like, we're not all floating money these days, but I wanted to be able to do a review of the financing options. I know a lot of people, a lot of gamers are going out throwing down their hard-earned cash, which they have every right to do. But I wanted to review the financing option to see if it's a good fit, if it's easy for people to do. Um, what people with mediocre credit scores can expect, like myself. So I'm waiting to still do that. So I know when I went to order through that means they were still out in that option. So maybe as time gets closer, we'll revisit that.
And we're still not done with Xbox news. There's even more ahead. And related to our Xbox pre-order fiasco is something linked to Game Pass, right, Kareem?
Yeah, yeah. It looks like Game Pass is also seeing record numbers. They just hit 15 million subscribers, which is I forget what the last number was during the earnings call, but it is definitely an increase, and it just seems like the numbers keep going because
Yeah,
I
I think it's
think
up 10 million from April.
there we go. Jeez, that's amazing, and it's just indicative of the value that they're offering right now. As Microsoft says, this is kind of a loss leader for them at the moment. For our sake as gamers, let's hope it continues that way. But it is an amazing value, and I think people are starting to realize that even fans and gamers from across the playing field, they're seeing that hey, I can go pick up an Xbox One if they can find it on eBay or whatever Facebook Marketplace, and get a great value right off the bat.
You get a lot of games to play for a cheap price. And
Yes,
that's what you want
exactly.
in a console. You don't want to spend all that money on a console and then have to spend $70 just to play one game. Whereas if $70 for that subscription, that's like probably I don't know the math. I've don't quote me on it. Maybe 2 or 3 or probably 4 to 5 months of Game Pass, and that's a lot of
Well,
games you
yeah.
have.
Well, you also have to think of it this way too. It kind of lands at the almost quintessential time where we're going to be seeing delays from studios just because people
Yeah.
aren't producing AAA games at the speed that they were doing prior to this. They're not in the office together, not using the same resources at home. So we're going to be seeing things that should have been released in 2021, 2022 be pushed back for several months, if not years. And so as we're all waiting for the new experience or whatever from these consoles, you can go back and play your old library. You can go back and play stuff from a library you had you didn't even know about, hadn't
Yep.
explored prior to that, and you can all do it from the comfort of your home, quick downloads if you are within an area that has pretty good Wi-Fi or broadband. And like I said, for the price of Netflix, you're playing games left and right. Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
let's stop talking about Xbox. We're going on a tangent here. Now it's time to
yeah.
talk about Ignite, right, Kareem? You used
Yes.
to attend Ignite, so this is your segment right here.
Yeah, even more exciting than Xbox, if you can believe it. uh, Ignite just happened this prior week. That it was digital. I believe they actually broke it up. There will be part two to Ignite happening later on that they mentioned. But for the first half of it, we got some interesting news. We had a whole breakdown on our site on Microsoft about all the nitty gritty about the development tools coming to Azure and security updates for the platform, some meshing of tools for developing for Windows across cloud and on-premise. But one of the highlights that we pulled out that we think is really going to be consumer friendly and moving forward is the Microsoft search coming to Windows search. So we said a lot of search, said it twice. You're probably wondering exactly what that means. So Microsoft laid it out in their blog post earlier this week that we'll be seeing some updated features coming to Office properties that are, that sort of robust window search you get will also be found in Bing, found in Microsoft 360 or Office 365 as well. Specifically, what people will be getting is kind of, I don't know if you guys, when you visit your phone, the contact section where it has your messages all broken up between text message and things like that, you'll be getting that same sort of search capabilities in Outlook and in SharePoint. So you'll be able to kind of search a contact and see all of that listed information, all the touch points you've had with that person in business. What you're also going to do is kind of search through skills. This is sort of a LinkedIn-esque type of search where anybody in your company that has job titles, skills under their profile, things like that, you can type it in. So if you're looking for Terry, the website designer, but you don't really know their name, you can type in website designer. It'll pull up a list of contacts that all have those tags with their profile. So that should make searching your own office infrastructure that much faster and easier. And you'll be able to, again, do this from Microsoft Search and from Bing and even in Windows as well. They're just basically streamlining the search platform and using the Microsoft Graph as a way to kind of combine everything, which, a lot of people probably thought should have already been there.
With everything happening in the cloud, it's really nice to see Microsoft have a centralized search system that helps you pull everything from OneDrive, Outlook, Teams, everywhere, basically everywhere you're pointing your data to have that come to you in one simple search place without having to go to each specific service to find something. It's really, really, really easy, probably even better than Apple's Spotlight, if you would say so.
Yeah, no, I definitely say so. Well, you get some great web searches from Spotlight. This again pulls in your Power BI information. I mean, it will get very granular to the point where you'll be able to type in tags that you put in certain files and obviously pull those up, and you'll be able to pull them up from the web just as easy as you were to pull them up from your device. And I think this is part of response to COVID, where people aren't at their home devices. They're probably streaming from servers or FTP logins to home devices, and now they need that same sort of on-device, on-premise search that they used to have now at their own home. As you said, all cloud-based kind of stuff.
All right, so if you had enough with this cloud stuff, now let's talk hardware, right? So if you guys thought that $1,400 for the Surface Duo was a little bit too extreme, why don't we talk about the $22,000 Surface Hub 2S 85-inch, which is basically like having a giant. Notice how many giants I'm saying. Giant computer on your wall, because it's basically the same thing as the 50-inch Surface Hub, but a bigger screen. Same premise. You have all the computing power in the back, and now they've announced that Surface Hub 2S and even the original Surface Hub will be able to upgrade to Windows 10. So instead of running Windows 10 Teams OS, which is just like the Teams joint meeting experience and that whole shebang, you also get full-blown Windows on an beautiful 85-inch touchscreen now, which is something that they played big on at Ignite.
Yeah, this is like the Office flex of if the Office equivalent of a rapper who gets those giant Scarface paintings. Like this, I mean, the functionality of this is obvious, but I mean, who needs an 85-inch screen?
Well, they did say it's for the hybrid workforce. I noticed a couple employees during the Ignite keynotes. They had it in the background behind them, right here, and they were doing their presentations. And as they talked, we saw the stuff appear on the hub behind them. So it does have a purpose, in a hybrid workforce, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I just wonder how many WeWork areas are going to invest in something. I mean, I think it'd be great.
Time to convince Kip to get you one, right?
Oh yeah, that's the plan. We'll be talking to him shortly to talk about that. Let me run through the last bit of information that we have, which is the Teams improvements. And I don't know if this is part and parcel with their experimentation with the NBA, but they're coming up with some new cool creative rooms ideas that's called new together mode. It's sort of the same thing we're seeing in the NBA, where they're grouping all these people in certain areas and teams What they'll be doing now is letting people sit in auditorium areas, conference rooms,
coffee shops, the new setting
coffee
is a
shop
coffee shop. Yep, yep.
as a setting,
Yep.
basically. So you'll get to be able to sit and wait in these kind of areas with other people, or conduct, or be pulled out of your current meeting and dropped into these certain areas to do even more brainstorming collaborations or whatnot. And it's just a cool little feature to kind of get rid of the mundane dropping out of a call, re-signing in efforts that I think we're all kind of facing these days. They'll have custom layouts to improve the dynamic viewing experience in Teams, is what they're saying. A lot of this stuff will be in preview, I think, starting
Yeah, I think a lot of
week.
it's coming next week. Some of it, it's like usual
In
team
October.
stuff, phased rollout coming to a group of people first, and then rolling out to everyone later on. A/B testing.
Yeah. So look for that. If you are the admin of your Teams area, look for these new features. Start breaking out and kind of separating people, especially the ones that you would love to just kind of mute anyway. Just knock them into a coffee shop and say, hey, I'll meet you later. The other thing we have is Office 2021.
Yeah, Office 2021, it wasn't officially announced. It was teased in a blog post where Microsoft said that we will see a new perpetual release for both Windows and Mac in the second half of 2021. And they also said that they'll share additional details about the official names, pricing, and availability later. They didn't specifically say that Office 2021 or call it that was coming, but based off of how we know that we see a new Office every 3 years. So right now it's Office 2019, then before that 2016, then before that 2013. So obviously this means we will see Office 2021 next year, and it's for people who don't like Microsoft 365 and who don't like that subscription-based model. This is something where you buy it once and that's it. You don't have to worry about it.
I would caution to say don't like. I know there's a lot of people who can't or choose to do this model. And it's, again, Microsoft, it's their cross to bear when it comes to supporting stuff. They can't unilaterally move to everyone to 365, which I think is a benefit, but they are offering this option. And for those people who choose it, Office 2021 should be coming up. But I don't think it's the thing about not liking it. It's just, some offices, some security things, there are reasons why people choose not to do the subscription portion. I don't know any of them really.
Yeah,
but
personally, I would just use Microsoft 365.
I would too.
Because you get to install it on all your devices, and with the 2021 and 2019, it's only one license. So.
Yeah, I'm not saying it makes any sense. I just know that we'll be hearing people saying, I work in this environment, I can't do a subscription base, or we need to test these things, or whatever it is. But there are reasons, and there's a reason why Microsoft offers this option.
Obviously,
enough about Office.
There was some other stuff to talk about
Let's
too.
get into the fun stuff.
Yeah, let's get to the fun stuff now. So we have to invite our editor-in-chief, Mr. Kip, to join us.
We got some exciting stuff.
Obviously, we're using Teams, so he'll be joining our call. And
so you don't have to bear with us. Yeah, doing a little dog fooding right now.
Send him a message telling him to join, and he should be in any minute. There he is.
Hey, guys.
For those of you listening, this is probably not that amazing, but the conversation following should be.
Well, I didn't hear any of your conversation up until now, so.
Fair enough. Now it's getting exciting.
Yeah, so I bought a Z Fold 2, a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2, and it's interesting. We're talking a lot about the Duo as Microsoft people, but there's a whole Microsoft Samsung partnership thing going on, and which up until the time that the Duo was really announced had been a pretty big deal. That Samsung, that Microsoft was kind of putting all its eggs into Samsung's basket, and so for a number of reasons, I wanted to check out the Z Fold 2. Oh.
Kip is having technical difficulties.
But piggybacking on what you said, it's still a big deal. Realistically speaking, I mean, the $1,400 barrier to entry for the Duo means that a lot of people will still be getting, Note 20s, S20, whatever the next version of Note is, and they'll be getting the suite of Microsoft apps anyway. So, like I said, in reality, the deal is still very big.
Yeah, I cut Kareem off there, but what I was trying to get at is that even though it's a Samsung phone, you could put a lot of Microsoft stuff on it. It uses a launcher, and it's the same Microsoft launcher that is on the Duo, but with a bit more features, as Kip will show us here. He's back again.
Yeah.
Sorry,
he's back.
guys.
Technical.
No, we were just saying how the deal is still a big deal realistically for anybody who can't afford the $1,400 Duo. They're still going to be getting a Note or a regular Samsung with a ton of Microsoft apps.
Right, and you just wrote about the Samsung FE, which is a much more affordable phone. This is definitely the high-end experimental
megaphone, the megaphone of all phones.
Right. Let's show off and show what we can do type of phone. It isn't meant for everybody. And one of the things I was going to say is there are a number of things with this phone that some are Samsung apps or products, some are Z Fold 2 specific, and some are launcher specific. There's a number of things that are kind of all mixed up. Some are, just Microsoft apps. So anyway, I can show it to you if you want to see it.
So yeah, start off. Give us a quick overview to begin with.
Okay, I'm going to make a couple of little switches here. Hang on.
Get ready, everyone. You're about to witness greatness.
Okay, so we talked about what I call the monster of a Microsoft phone. And here it is. This is the...
Oh my God.
Oh wait.
For those of you listening, he just busted out. Is that a Kin 1 or Kin 2?
It's a Kin 1.
Jeez.
That's everyone's favorite Microsoft phone right there.
Yeah, there's the Zoom stuff. So I found it in the attic when I was looking for stuff to plug in all this stuff. So anyway, this is the actual Z Fold 2. And I wanted to show you a couple of things about it.
Your camera is upside down. We're seeing the phone.
Oh, I forgot to push
to flip
one
it.
button.
Yep. There we go. Now we're good.
Okay. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, I wanted to show you a couple of things. One one thing I want to really say about the Z Fold 2 is it's not a Duo. It's not, they're made for two really separate kinds of things. One of the things that we talked about is photography, and this has the triple camera in the back, and then it has a camera inside here too. But if the one thing
that's different from the Duo, which only has one camera right up here.
Right. So you can open up, and if you're showing off pictures, I haven't actually done it yet, but this is a great thing for cameras, is that you're showing off the picture on the front. You want to see a bigger picture, and then you have this huge, beautiful display that makes it very easy. If you've ever had trouble showing somebody a picture on your phone and they try and grab it and then the picture goes away and all that kind of stuff and you can't see it. This is a whole different world than that. It does now when if you're on something on the front screen and you open it up, you get that full view. If you close it up, it turns itself off.
Oh.
So that's a little weird, but I mean, just something to get used to. But I wanted to show you, oops, I can't do it again. There. This is the Edge thing from Samsung, and
it's multitasking.
You can actually set up, contacts, a number of different things. This is a compass, but if you go here, then if you want to drag this to here, and then, oh wait, I didn't quite do it right here.
These kinds of things are always finicky.
Right. So you can drag it down to here.
Oh.
And then drag another one up to here, and then you have
nice.
The Duo.
And again, for those of you listening, he's doing a split screen from the
slide out multitasker.
The slide out menu.
Right.
And he's doing it on the front facing screen.
And then if you did you should be able to drop it. I guess not. You can drop 3 or 4 into that thing, but it's still not, if you're looking for a way to have dual screens with 2 different things going on, Excel in one and, and something Word in the other, the Duo is probably a better device to do that with.
That's what I have right here.
Yeah, I think you and I keep going back and forth about the analogous nature of dual screen versus ultra widescreen. Essentially, we've had people still have the debate of which one's better, and I feel like the Z Fold 2 is your ultra widescreen versus someone with the dual monitor setup.
That's probably a good analogy, and you can see that this is Microsoft Launcher. So you can I've set it up a little bit. You can open up and you have 10 different things there, 10 different apps. And then you have different pages. So I have this page just set up for playing music. And then this one is a main screen. And then I don't have anything in the other thing. So you can, it does, it has stereo there's a microphone or a speaker there and a speaker there, so you have stereo music. I would listen to it the other day for a while and was reminded of an old AM transistor radio. It doesn't quite have the deep bass that you're expecting from a modern music player, but
still better than the Duo, which has mono speakers only.
Right, it does have stereo speakers. It does have an equalizer. You can set up different things. And then this is actually Apple Music, which comes with my Verizon subscription. So that's why that's there.
How does it feel? How's it feel overall? Like, I know a lot of people have said the Duo feels like a premium phone. Like I said in my unboxing, when I picked it up, you spent $1,400. It feels really premium. So how does the Z Fold feel?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. It feels like a premium device. It's not light. It's it's a metal case, and it's heavy. It's hefty. But I don't feel like that's a bad thing. It feels solid and premium.
Does the screen feel like glass?
It doesn't. It does have a factory put on screen protector, and I'm not quite sure whether it's on the front screen or not, because I've noticed that I've already got a few little scratches on the front screen. But it feels, I wouldn't know, like, it doesn't feel cheap by any means. It feels really good. Now, Arif and I talked a little bit about the bezels. There is literally no bezel around the outside here, and I have found myself, switching apps when I didn't want to because and it's sometimes a little tricky, like if you're laying on the couch or something, watching a YouTube video or something, to hold it in place.
I have my Duo on the screen and I'm showing people my bezels just as a comparison.
Right.
Yours are almost no bezels. Mine's are thick bezels on the top.
Right.
Definitely noticeable.
And I'm also finding that that this front screen is like, this front screen is a Twitter machine.
Yeah, that's really nice. Sorry. It's a candy bar phone, as a lot of people are saying.
Right.
Tall and long.
So you have this, this.
That leads me to my next question, though. Do you find yourself using the front screen more often than opening it full screen?
For some stuff, yes. And I haven't really got deep into, I'm not a huge phone user to begin with. A lot of what I do on the phone is check my email and check Twitter. I won't open my email in case somebody said something bad to me. But I'm on Twitter a lot. And so just to be able to do this on the front screen without having to open the phone, with anything that's on the front screen, you open it up and you get the full view here.
Well, I find that dynamic
I find myself a lot of times not even worrying about having to open the phone. I just do it from the front screen.
This what you just said right now reminds me of the Apple versus Microsoft way of kind of moving users to a new paradigm. I feel like Samsung's doing the old Microsoft way where they give you a buffet of options to do something. I feel like this is the great transition device for people who are going to be getting into foldable phones or dual screens. You'll have the option of using it like a normal phone, which I think a lot of people will, probably a 60-40 split. But then they'll be able to open it up to this giant screen and get the experience when necessary. Versus Microsoft's almost Apple-like approach, where you have to kind of engage with the two screens and you have to kind of shift your way of doing stuff in order to get the most out of it. I just find it interesting to see the two different approaches.
That's what I found with my Duo, is that it changed the way I use my phone, because I'm used to tall and long candy bar phones like the Pixel or the iPhone, and the Duo, I said in my hands-on a couple of weeks ago, it's sort of a wider and shorter phone. So the way it changes the way you do your work. It makes you want to use that second screen.
Right. And I would say, and this is probably almost as tall as it is wide. So, there's a little difference there. But I would say that I'm not compelled to, oh boy, I can open up 3 different views.
Right.
Here. That, I think that's a very good analogy that Kareem had, that this is an ultra wide, ultra big, this allows you to put this screen in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing that people were talking about, I don't know if you can really see, but this fold in the middle really does disappear. You can see it a little bit there, but it looks like one big screen. But anyway, that's kind of a first peek at a monster Microsoft phone times 2. This is a 4 times. You could get 4 of these on here.
I really can't believe that he bought that with him.
I can't believe you still have one.
I know, right?
I actually didn't buy this when it first came out. I picked one up on eBay. This is the Kin 2. I couldn't resist.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
So there's both of them. But they don't, you can open them up and they turn on, but you can't get on the internet. And it was a Verizon thing, so obviously you can't use it
and their cloud service is no longer existing either.
Yeah, and I think the cloud services all went through Microsoft, right? You had to, you had to connect to the Kin service in order to get it. That's why nothing works. But anyway,
just like the Zoom service. Oh, those Windows Phone people crying here right now.
So Kareem was the one that bought up Windows Phone.
I'll let you guys go.
He brought in the Kins.
Well, thanks, Kip, for showing off your phone. We really appreciate it, because this has been a big debate with reviewers. They've always compared the Duo to the Z Fold and other phones. So it's really nice to have two writers here, myself with the Duo and yourself with the Z Fold, and I'm pretty sure we'll get a lot more coverage out of it in the weeks ahead.
All right.
Thanks again, Kip. Thanks again, Kip.
Enjoy.
And now it's just me and you. So continuing on, now we spent a lot of time on our Galaxy. Now we have to talk about the week ahead, right, Kareem?
Yeah. We ran obviously a little bit long, and we tend to do that with hardware because I'm sure, like many of you out there, we're super geeks for new hardware. So we apologize if it's a little longer than you're used to, but we hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, one more coverage coming up in the days and weeks ahead, comparing the two, comparing the differences. But going into next week, what we will be talking about are the now surface rumors and leaks. They are going to be having an event in early October. So we'll be keeping an eye out.
That was the rumor. We heard it might be in late September or early October, maybe September 30th or October 1st. Our number one favorite cat, Walking Cat, was the one that tweeted about it.
Yeah. So in the next week or so, we should be seeing or hearing some more information about it. And we will obviously be covering that. I think the rumors so far say that we will not be expecting a laptop or a Pro update, but more of the Pro X, which should be interesting how they kind of position and pivot that one. Another update will be for what was the other thing they were going to be updating?
Surface. Not an update, but introducing a new 12.5-inch Surface laptop model.
That's right, the one we talked about last week.
Yep.
And then the other things we'll be talking about, or we should be expecting for the upcoming week, is Skype Meet.
This was introduced in an insider build.
Yeah.
So.
And I've actually used it 3 times since it's been introduced in the last 4 days or whatever. It's been really cool and interesting to kind of have a Zoom-like experience where you just click it and set up a meeting all within about a minute and a half. So the only hard part is trying to explain to people what that icon is at the bottom corner if they're insiders. But other than that, it's been pretty fun. And we'll be having some Xbox news. Again, November is right around the corner. So I'm sure we'll be seeing some more information coming back and forth between Sony and Microsoft as they kind of battle out and jockey for position going into November.
Yep. So a lot of good stuff coming up in the weeks ahead, and we'll be here to talk about it on our weekly podcast.
Yeah, and I got a ton of reviews as well for some hardware stuff, so we'll keep an eye out for that as well. With that being said, I think that's the end of this one. You guys have a great day, and enjoy all of the things that you can while you can. Stay safe, keep a mask on.
Thank you for watching, and have a beautiful day, week, night ahead.